So today we're going to attempt to do the locking strip that goes in the rubber bead of the rear window hatch to keep it in place. The only one I could find that was wide enough, after searching eBay, everywhere, was a Holden Commodore VB VH locking strip for the front window of, so there we go there. Locking strip, front windscreen, chrome, VB VC VH Holden Commodore. That's the part number. This is from Rare Spares in Arundel. I'll put a link in the description. If this works, it'll be great, because I think a lot of people have the issue of not being able to find the correct strip for this, which doesn't lock the window down properly. So I'm going to pop it open. Number one, check I've got enough length. The reason I got the front window one was in the front window for the Commodore, you get 4 meters of the strip, and with the rear window of the Commodore one, you only get 3.8. And I'm pretty sure this is going to require close to 4 meters because it's a little bit higher than the Commodore one. So more the merrier, I got the bigger one. So let's pop it open and see how close we are to getting the right size to fit into this gap. Alrighty, so haven't checked the length yet, but as far as width is concerned, I think we're pretty bang on. That's what the end looks like, that shape. Now the top bulge is a little bit wider than the open area here, which is a good sign. It's just a matter of fitting it inside underneath that lip to push it down against, and I have a funny feeling this is going to be really, really good. So I do have a tool that I ordered, which is a locking strip insert tool, and you kind of like run the tool along the window strip with some soapy water and it feeds it in really easily. I might have to wait for that to arrive before I install it, but at least I know that this is the right width, which is really, really good. Oh, horrible video work today. It's the right width, which is awesome. In the kit, it did come with 2 corner pieces. The only issue being they're a little bit wider than a 90-degree bend. So my options are edit this piece or cut this on a 45-degree angle, so that the 2 ends butt up against each other neatly. First though, I'm going to try and edit this because I wouldn't mind having this chrome stay piece in the corner. I think it would look a lot neater. What I'm going to have to do is probably cut right through the center of this, leaving, sorry about that, I have to cut right through the center of this, right through there, leaving this end attached, and then hopefully bend this closer together so it goes from that to that. But that's something I can work out pretty much at the end. For now though, let's see if we've got the right amount, the right length. I just dropped it on the ground. But yes, we do. We have enough. There's enough here, plus a little bit extra, which we can trim off if we stuff anything up, so that's really good news. So far, this looks like it's going to do the job. Just going to gently put that on top. I'm going to try and attempt to put it in without the tool. I think I might fail, but why not? I'll get some soapy water. We'll stick it in there. We'll see if we can get it to fit just painstakingly by hand without having the correct tool, because I'm impatient. So here we go. Alright, so I'm going to start from the bottom here. I will actually start by cutting this edge on a 45-degree angle, just to save me a little bit of time later. And then I'll get some soapy water, push it all through here so it makes inserting it a bit easier. Okay, so as far as the width is concerned, it's absolutely fine. it'll hold in there without a problem. There is one issue though. On the bottom of this strip, I think the issue that I'm having, it doesn't seem to be sitting flat enough. So, let's zoom out here. It doesn't seem to be sitting flat enough, which is kind of lifting the edge up instead of kind of tucking itself in. And I think the issue is, if you can see the bottom of this, which is actually the top next to my finger, there's a little arrow point. I think that needs to be flat, because it feels like it's the bottom of that point is lifting the strip up off the rubber and not allowing it to sit flush. So what I might try and do, because I did have extra, I'm going to pop this back out of here. I'm actually going to get my grinder or whatever and just strip off this bottom point, make that flat, and then try reinstalling it and see if it sits better within the windowsill. So I don't know if you can see it, what I'm doing is making that flat. You can see where my thumb is now, there's no point. I don't want to go too far on my grinding because I don't want to thin out these edges. So that's what I'm going to do over the first few inches and see if that sits better. And if it works, I got to do the whole thing. And that's a lot better. These rubber edges now sit nice and flush. It doesn't feel like it's being forced up. And that rubber it's in, which is good. And you can see the extra width it's given. So compared to this bit of the rubber here and this bit, you can see how it's forced it out a little bit. So that's a good sign as well. Like I said before, this is the widest one that I could find after all my searching. So I think it's what we're going to use. I got to go strip off the bottom of this whole length now with the grinder, so it'll be a bit tedious, but once that's finished, we can get it in the rubber. Alright, that's all ground off. I just have to remove this junk on the side of it and we'll go fit her up on the car. But that's all flat now, which is good. So that's going in real good. It's sitting nice and flush, and it's pushing that bead out, which is what we want to see for it to lock it into place. Without the tool to actually do this properly, it's a little bit hard. You got to kind of get 1 centimeter of this edge, then 1 centimeter of that edge, and kind of walk it in. So you push the top, and you come back and grab the bottom bit, and you got to do that all the way up. So now I know I can put it in. I might work out the corner piece early and see. I mean, if this ends up getting munted, you know, fair enough. I'll work something else out. But if I can get the corner pieces in and then slide this into it, that'd be great. So I'm gonna have to do something with this piece. I think I'm gonna try that cut and bend trick right now. Alright, so I'm gonna try and attempt to cut from this inner corner to that outer corner, but I'm not going to go all the way. I'm going to stop a few mil before the corner. That'll allow me a bit of material left to bend into place, and the material that's going to be cut out of here should be enough room to make that gap close in on itself. So without cutting my fingers off, I'll give this a go. Z-cut, and then I've just bent it up a little bit We're not quite at 90 degrees yet, so I might just shave a little bit more off this inside here. Now there will be a seam in here that you'll see, but we'll see what it looks like. If I don't like it, I'll change it. Alright, so that has made it in a position, which is cool. I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm okay dealing with the little gap there. I was going to see a gap regardless, given that the two ends were going to have to meet. But at least now there's a little locking piece on top of the corners, so they're not going to ever want to lift up. So now it's going to be to do the other one for the other side and then install this trim. Alright, now I've got to go around this corner. It's going to be a pain in the butt. Alright, so I went around the corner kind of okay. I feel like I need to put a bit of pressure backwards this way on it, just to make it really force itself into the wide part of the corner. It hugs really easy on the inside, but I think I need to push a bit more pressure this way to make sure it sits into this bottom lip. Apart from that, I'm going to keep doing it all the way around, and I'll see you when I'm done. And there you have it. It's in. And I feel confident recommending it as an option or an alternative to trying to find the original one. If you can find the original one, obviously use it, but I could not. So this is a good replacement option. So again, I'll put the link in the description for where I bought this. Arundel Rare Spares on the Gold Coast. And again, this was the locking strip front windscreen chrome VBVCVH Commodore with the part number there. So again, I'll put that in the link. So big thanks to Rare Spares Arundel for doing some searching on the width of what they could get to try and help. They knew that it wasn't for this car, but they did try and help me get something as close as I could get with the measurements I gave them, and I think it's going to work real well. The corners look like this. A little bit of a gap there, which I'm not concerned about, given I had to do that to make this piece fit. And there was going to be a gap anyway. If I was not going to use this would have been cut on a 45-degree angle and butted up against each other. So that's in. The one over this side isn't quite as neat, just because the rubber on this side fit perfectly in the corner, but this one is a little bit kind of up. And I tried to bring the rubber down as much as I could, it just wouldn't budge. It's really seated into position. I've got to get rid of my soapy water. It's kind of gross. But regardless, it's still in there and it's doing its job. So I'm really happy with that. I know the window's not going to go flying out on me now, which is wonderful. When you do the edges up here, I found to push the far edge in first and then push this strip as hard as you can up so it really feeds into that corner. And then I just used a little screwdriver to kind of fold that rubber around the inside edge and then continued on the way down. So that's a good success. I'm happy. I hope that helped you out if you guys are stuck in this position as well. That's it, just a quick vid. I'm out.